Talking it out is so commonplace these days. Everyone thinks that's the answer to everything. And in this video, I'm going to show you why it's not. There's a reason why I call it one of the 7 toxins. Here we try to rejuvenate your marriage, reimagine your marriage, hit things from a positive perspective. But that doesn't mean that we don't watch out for those things that hurt your marriage, and talking it out is one of them. And this is part of the series of the 7 toxins that hurt your marriage. So I'm Paul Friedman, I'm the host. We've been doing this for a very long time, helping people through their marriages. And this is after a career when I was a divorce mediator of all things. So many of the people who came to me for divorce mediation had said explicitly, we tried talking things out, but it didn't go anywhere. Now, there's a male-female component in this particular toxin. Women like to talk things out. Men don't really want to talk things out. And I'm going to give you an addendum for this particular toxin. If you're a man and your wife wants to talk and get it out, it's okay. That's not the same as the toxin talking things out. So if she needs to get things off of her chest, it's just how women, and the ladies who are watching this video will acknowledge right away, it's part of how you process. You need it. It helps diffuse the emotions that are going on in your mind. It helps relax you. It's important for you to get it out. Getting it out for a lady, it's okay. Men, let your wife get it out. It's not going to hurt you. Do not react when she's talking. Give her the floor 100%. If she says something that is completely off the wall, just nod. She'll come back to the center. She will, I promise you. But usually what happens, and look, I'm a communications expert, right? Usually what happens is when one person, and now this is not gender oriented, when one person is speaking, pay attention to this because this is a really important tidbit for you to always remember. When someone is speaking, the person who is quote unquote listening is only waiting for their turn. They are not listening. They're hearing. They might even be able to repeat exactly what was said, but they're waiting for their turn. The reason for that is biologically based, to tell you the truth. What happens is because we have a body, we're not a body, we have a body, we're souls. We also have a mind. And the mind is packed, filled with defensive reactions because of the bodily drive to survive, also known as self-preservation. And so the mind categorizes all of these retorts, all of these reactions, because the mind doesn't really think. It doesn't think things through. Once it comes up with something that works, or it thinks it works, that's it. It's its ammunition. And so if somebody says something and your mind doesn't like it, even if it's not that deeply hurtful or anything, it's going to react. And guess what happens when that happens? You have a squabble. You have a fight. You might have a fight that lasts 2 or 3 days. We never know because human nature is so unpredictable. But there are things that are predictable. Now, what is the downside of talking things out? Okay, how we usually come across this at the Marriage Foundation is people write to us, and that's a free service. You could write to us. There's a link called Ask a Counselor, and people say, I spoke to my husband about this because he's having an affair. He's using pornography. He's flirting with other women. He's not paying enough attention to me. And we talked it out, and he made all these promises, and I thought he was keeping them. And then, could be a month, could be a year, could be 2 years later, oh my God, I had no idea he's in an affair again. Why? Because they're worse than AI. They tell you what you want to hear. Again, it goes back to this biological thing, this drive to survive makes us, you remember from middle school, fight or fly, that's what's happening. So if you try to talk things out, what you're really trying to do, I mean, let's face it, what you're really trying to do is get them to change their ways. What they did is very hurtful. Well, it doesn't work. Now, it does work, and I'm kind of going into another topic here, but it's a very important topic. It does work in most venues, but marriage is a very unique, specialized venue. You know what a venue is? A venue is a particular stage, you might say. Like when you're meeting with your kids' teachers, you're in the venue of the schoolroom. When you're going for a job interview, you're in a venue of a job interview. When you're married, you're in a marriage venue. In the marriage venue, and this is why we talk about reimagining your marriage. Because unfortunately, what has happened is that instead of people going, my marriage is not working, what's wrong? That's what they're doing. Instead of going, my marriage isn't working, what can I do proactively to put it back on track? Now, why do I say it that way? This is very important. And I know this is a little bit of a side topic, but I promise to weave it back into talking it out. What happens is, and I don't want to condemn the entire Western psychological community, it's not like that. But they're trained to find out what's wrong and then work on the phobia that you might have or the issue you might have in your own mind and help you monitor it, live with it, whatever it is. But marriage is not like that because we realize going into marriage that we're not perfect, but we don't focus on the most important part of marriage, which is, come on, and write it in the comments. If you already know what is the most important part of marriage, write it in the comments. This is a little test. The most important part of marriage is love. And I'm not talking about like. I'm not talking about, oh, I really like my husband because he's so kind. I really like my wife because she is a knockout and she gives me that smile that just warms my heart. I'm talking about that love that you feel in your heart, that it radiates throughout your body and it envelops you. That's the real deal. That love is why you got married. You got married because you wanted to be happy. You didn't get married because she has long legs. You didn't get married because he's got a great job. You got married because you fell in love. And the one thing that always makes us happy, love. Love does the trick every single time, doesn't it? So when you talk things out, what you're doing is you're taking away from that spiritual thing called love, and you're putting both of your attentions on stuff. Now, the stuff might be valid. I'm not arguing that point. But when you are filled with love, the stuff reduces in a value compared to the love. You see, think about it. What happens when you've had an amazing, I'll call it an amazing session with your partner, and then they say something that normally would set you off, but it doesn't. Why? Because you're still floating in that love. Now, that love that I'm describing that you're floating in, that's the marriage I want you to reimagine, that I want you to have all the time. And you can't do that by pulling down and going into talking it out. It won't work. There's other things too you shouldn't do. What we should be doing all the time is cultivating that love. that connection. That's how I want you to reimagine your marriage, because that's why you got married in the first place. To experience that happiness, not just before the wedding, not just for the honeymoon, but for the rest of your life. And it keeps growing. And honest, it does. I mean, we've been doing this for over 25 years, and you could take a look at our reviews from people who we have helped get on track. And that's what they're experiencing too. So talking it out is not the way to go. It's literally a toxin, because very simple equation here. And by the way, all the teachings that I produce for the Marriage Foundation and essentially for you is scientific. The premises are there's always an equation. There's always an action, reaction. And I've isolated those with keeping in mind that where you want to go is into pure, unadulterated joy. Get it? That's what it's all about. So if you want to talk something out, if something's bad, hold off. Don't do it. Instead say, okay, this is important to me, really important to me. But what I'm going to do, instead of talking it out with my husband, with my wife, is I'm going to start establishing from my side, because that's what it takes, from my side, the most amazing marriage that they have ever experienced. And then we're getting into yet another topic. That topic is to have a great marriage. We don't expect anything. We expect only of ourselves to give our hearts love fully. And that's it. Thank you for having watched this video. I sure hope it was useful to you. Now I want to talk to you about your marriage. We all know that you wouldn't be looking at this video or any of the videos that you come across on marriage if yours was perfect. Well, I'm here to tell you that not only should you be working on your marriage, but you should be working on your marriage scientifically. And this is, you could call it a secret that I discovered when I started helping people with their marriages back in 2001. I discovered that there is a mechanical element to marriage. Now, that doesn't mean it's a machine. Think of it more like a plant. A plant has a mechanical component to it. Sometimes it needs more nitrogen. Sometimes it needs trimming. Sometimes it needs more of this or that. Sometimes it has to be taken out of the direct sun or more watering. What's going on here is that when you understand the plant, you could make it bloom, have beautiful flowers, beautiful fruits. And your marriage is intended to have beautiful flowers of love and happiness, beautiful fruits of devotion and connectivity. That's what it's intended to be. I also discovered something that is vital to know, and that is that one of you alone can save your marriage. In fact, what happened was in 2001, when I started helping people with their marriages, I realized in pretty quick order that working with just one works. Working with a couple sets up a dynamic of negative interaction where they're competing for who's being more mistreated. Well, we don't want to go there. And so in the courses that I have, online courses, which I believe are on sale now, so you should take advantage of that. The online courses take you from point A, which is wherever you are now. And many people who come to us because it's a last resort, nobody wants to put in the effort and spend the money to save their marriage. But I don't believe in just saving your marriage. I want your marriage to be the most amazing marriage that ever was. And I can show you how, step by step. I give you techniques, I give you methods, I give you milestones, and you will learn how to make your marriage amazing. It's a beautiful thing. You could take a look at all of the reviews on our website. They're all very positive. We never get a mad at you review, never happens, because everything is set up in a common sense way. You will learn how to live your marriage. You will learn what you need to do right now to move your marriage in a positive way. And pretty soon what will happen is your marriage may be below the line here. It may be to where one of you is having an affair and it's destroying you heart and soul. Let's turn that around. Let's make your marriage amazing. So go to our website, sign up for the course, and watch your marriage change. I promise you. In fact, it comes with a 3-day free trial. It's guaranteed for 30 days that if you don't like it, and I'm going to tell you a little secret now. Some people say, well, my marriage isn't on the verge of divorce or anything like that. Doesn't matter. What you do in that case is don't pay the full fee for the course. Sign up for the extended plan, which is less than $10 a week, $39.95 a month. And after you get all the knowledge that you need, which takes about 12 weeks, it's a 12-week course, then cancel it. We're probably not supposed to be telling you that, but cancel it because you got what you needed, and we're here for you to have an amazing marriage. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation in order to help you with your marriage. Write into us. Use the comment section below. Leave a comment. Ask a question. I'll help you. We're here for you. God bless you and take care.